Hi, Tim here from the Thaiger. Now, we've been following the Bangkok Community Help and a lot of the work they've been doing around Bangkok in, well, various slum areas and also some of the construction worker camps where people have really been suffering and trying to not only get fed, but most of them have been unemployed during this time. But now as things are slowly settling down COVID-wise, there's still an urgent need to do a whole lot of things around the city. Now, this is just one of their projects at the Wat Thaton Temple, which is sort of in the shadow of the Ekkamai BTS station in what would otherwise be quite an affluent suburb. But this school has been battling and with holes in the roof, and well, I'll let Friso and Greg tell you the story.
We're always looking to help, especially create more beds for the COVID situation where there wasn't enough hospital beds. So we were developing community isolation centers. And this was one of the last ones, which was perfect because there's a number of hospitals right next door. And so if a case became from green to yellow to red, we were able to take them right next door to the hospital. So this was one of the last locations that was approved by the government to turn into isolation centers, so we were involved with it.
So there was a lot of work to be done though, Friso.
A lot. Well, yeah, it started only with the community isolation center, and the good news is that we never had one person enter the community isolation center. This is the third one that we helped, or that we built actually. The other two are actually still having people inside of them. This would have been the third one where when the second one would be full, they would be offloaded here. Luckily that never happened, which is a great sign. It's still here. I mean, it might come back again. We always need to be very careful with this disease. But yeah, that's how it started. And then of course we got involved here and we saw, okay, there's a lot of work to be done. This is a government school receiving little to no budget. Last year they received one printer. That was all they got. Yes, one printer. And there's a lot. I mean, there's hundreds of kids here. So of course we decided to step in and help. We're very proud that the kids soon will come back to a very nice looking school.
So, Greg, what happened with the library? They had a bit of unscheduled ventilation, I hear.
Yeah, so what happened was around 3 years ago there was a big storm and the roof came in, and unfortunately they didn't have the money or the budget to fix the ceiling.
So how big was the hole?
It was pretty big. It was as big as me, probably. You know,
that's
pretty big.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it was a huge hole. I mean, it was shocking to see. You know, this is really this library. This is where kids came and would be reading books or whatever, and they would see it. And then, you know, one of the things we saw was in the kitchen, they were cooking for the last 8 years with an exhaust system that wasn't working. So it was very, very smoky, so much that the hospital next door complained about the smoke reaching there. So we fixed all that up, you know, and then there was like the doctor's or nurse's room. They had an air conditioner in there, 2 of them, that didn't work for 20 years, you know, so it was a lot of things that we did.
So this is right on the temple grounds, a very elaborate looking temple. I imagine a fairly wealthy temple.
Yeah.
Why does this school have to need so much funding? It's a public school. What's going on?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. It's very interesting.
We were asked that just this last week.
Yeah, because I mean, for people that know Bangkok, we're at Wat Thatong. This is opposite Gateway Ekkamai. It's just under BTS Ekkamai.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, in between all the fancy malls and, you know, the high-rise condos.
A very wealthy area.
Very wealthy. The temple is very wealthy as well.
There's funerals every day, high soul.
Yeah. So
and the funerals would make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. But then again, there's no budget. So that's the thing. It's a government school. The kids go to school for free. And there is just a certain amount of money that can be spent, and that's it. So in order to, you know, develop a school, make it better, make it look better, you know, create facilities, fix facilities, the private sector or like organizations like us need to come in and help. And that's why we do it. And there are many schools like this. That's why we're looking at different schools right now that need help. Because for us, obviously, anything that has to do with long-term future projects, this is what we really like to do. What we've been doing so much now is hand-to-mouth. We're feeding people every single day. It's obviously very unsustainable. It's because COVID requires us to do it.
Yeah.
But anything that lies in renovations, building houses, schooling, education. This is obviously where our future path is leading to, because we want to make a difference for the long term. But COVID needs to be done first. So it's step by step. But we're very, very happy that we can do these kind of things again. We had a very, very difficult months, very tough. Because COVID was so heavy. That's why we built this community isolation center, just because there was no place for people to isolate. Nobody could go anywhere.
You know, there's two ways to look at it and say, well, the government should do it, or, you know, or we go ahead and we just go ahead and do it. Because at the end of the day, the kids are the ones that suffer, you know, so that's what we did, was took care of the kids, so now they come back November 1st in a much better situation. So,
Okay, well done, gentlemen. Another project from Bangkok Community Help. You know them, of course, from the COVID relief, the support they've been giving the communities. Probably the best known one would be Klong Toi, but still doing some fantastic work around the city. Work that needs to be done, that for whatever reason the government aren't throwing money at the moment. There's a link under this video in the description, and you can always go there and donate to the fine work of Friso and Greg and all their support volunteers. Thanks for joining us on the Thaiger.